and every time I wear any of these foundations, I always get compliments in the comments. Welcome to my channel. Today I wanted to do a top 5 foundations of mine. Now I have gone through my entire foundation collection and I picked out all of my foundations that I was like, yep, these are the ones that I would definitely repurchase if something were to happen to my makeup collection, or if one of these ran out, these would definitely be the ones that I would constantly have to have in my collection, and I would be devastated if any of these became discontinued, because all of these I am very confident in when every time I pick them up that they will look good on my skin, whether I have dry skin that day, breakouts that day, more redness in my skin. If I'm more oily, I can grab these foundations and have confidence in them every single time. And just so you guys know, I do have combination skin, so I do get oily and dry depending on the spot. Some places are more oily, some places are more dry, and in some places it gets to be both. So how fun is that? I am using retinol at the moment, so my skin is a little bit dry and irritated and a little red at the moment, so I'm trying to get that cell turnover going. It's gonna be a hot minute before everything gets back to normal, but I need to do some skincare uglies to get the good results that I'm looking for. But I'm gonna start at the bottom of the list. I tried to make it as accurate as possible, but these are definitely the foundations that I'm like, ride or die, I'm gonna take you with me to the edge of the earth. So I'm gonna start with the most expensive one. These are high-end, and you can find all of these at Sephora. Well, I wouldn't say like high-end. They're not like $150 Tom Ford foundation, but they are more mid to high-end range in my opinion. So first one that I have is the Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. This one is heaven sent to me. It is $49. I am definitely repurchasing this whenever it's gone, but I used to love the Sheer Glow foundation. I still have that one, but this one just totally stole the show as far as my Nars foundation. There's one Nars foundation that I don't like. I can't remember what it's called. I might insert a picture of it. That one doesn't work for me whatsoever. This one, on the other hand, is magicalness in a bottle. I love it. Every time I pick it up, it gives me such a smooth, like, all of them give me such a smooth canvas, and I don't know how I'm gonna say how I like them every single time. This one I like the most because I find that I use less of this one than my other foundations that I have here, and it spreads the farthest. I don't really like full coverage. I do think you can get this to be pretty full coverage, but I prefer it to be more medium, so I'll just do like a pump and like maybe a pea-sized amount, a pump and almost a half, and then that covers like my whole face with a beauty blender. So this foundation is definitely worth the money. You don't need a lot. It works really well with my skin. I have it in the shade Mont Blanc if you're similar to my skin tone, and I am going to swatch them all on my face to show you guys the colors of them, and I'll list all of the shades and the foundations down below if you're curious as well. Next one is the Beauty Blender Bounce Foundation. I have this one in the shade 1.40. I really like this foundation. The actual name of this foundation is the Bounce Liquid Whip Longwear Foundation. Now, the packaging I'm not really the biggest fan of. I initially started using this foundation with this little sample guy, and then I jumped in and got the whole thing because I was like, I can't live without this foundation. And this one is $40. This one I like because it does give me a more matte appearance, but this one I find that I really like mixing in with other foundations that I don't really like. It just kind of adds a pick-me-up to every foundation that I have. I love mixing it with my Marc Jacobs, with my Tarte foundations, with my Smashbox foundations, with the Sheer Glow foundation, and it just adds a nice extra coverage and a little bit more staying power. This one is a lot more matte than the Nars one in my opinion, and it has a little bit more oil control. One of my favorites, and you just kind of push the little thingy, beauty blender, you just go pop, 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 and you're done. Next one is not really a medium coverage foundation. It has enough coverage for my liking. I don't really like full coverage. I find that it looks a little strange on me because I have freckles and discoloration. It's a little weird for me. But this one, I saw Tati use this, and that video just blew up. But this is the Kosas Tinted Face Oil, and I freaking love this thing. This is the best like no makeup foundation that I've ever found in my entire life. This one is $42, and I have it in the shade 1, which is a little disappointing because I'm not actually that fair, but it does, I'll show you guys in the swatch. It looks kind of dark. It, like when I swatched all these together on my arm, this one did seem to look the darkest, but when you blend it out on your face, it doesn't look that dark. So it's kind of confusing, but yeah, this one, it's very liquidy. I find that I use a lot of this, and I try not to reach for this because I kind of treasure it in a weird way. It makes my skin look really dewy and hydrated, and doesn't cling on to dry spots. None of these foundations cling on to any dry spots or sit in my pores weird or anything weird like that. Next one is another new favorite. This one I am torn over as to being my favorite. I love this one. This is the Urban Decay Naked Weightless Liquid Foundation up to 24-hour wear. I can attest to this because I wore this foundation on the longest plane ride of my life. So I went from Dallas to LA to Hawaii, and I had this foundation on the entire time, and it still looked pretty good. I have it in the shade 20 in, and this is just everything that I could ever need. It looks flawless every single time that I put it on my face, and it lasts all day long, and I love it. The next one that I fell in love with, and I still love every single time that I put on, that is competing with the Stay Naked to be my top dog foundation, is the Fenty Beauty Pro Filt'r Soft Matte Longwear Foundation. This one is $35. I don't know if I said the naked one. This one is $39. But yeah, this one, my favorite thing about it is that it's very similar to the Stay Naked foundation, but the biggest difference between this one and the Stay Naked one and pretty much the rest of my foundations is that this one layers so nicely with everything. It makes my skin look like skin with just the right amount of coverage that I need to still look flawless, and I can layer creams and powders and creams and liquids and whatever, and it doesn't move, and it self-sets, and I'm very confident in this foundation. Like if I'm rushing and I just need to put it all on and I don't have time to powder, or I forget to powder, I'm confident that this is still gonna look really good on my skin. All right, so now I wanna swatch them all for you guys. I did swatch them all on my arms, so I'm gonna show you that, and then I'm gonna kind of blend them into my skin a little bit so you can see what they all look like a little bit more blended out. So I'm going to show you the swatches, and I started at my elbow to my wrist. So I have the Fenty Beauty Foundation, the Urban Decay, Kosas, Beauty Blender, and Nars, and you can kind of see the color and the tone difference in all the foundations, but all of these work pretty well for my skin. The Beauty Blender and the Fenty one is a teensy bit too dark for me at the moment, but the other three are fine, just fine and dandy. So I'm gonna start with the Fenty foundation. I hate making this video because I'm like squirting out foundation that I love and I'm not actually really using it, but that's what the Fenty foundation looks like. Again, I'm in the shade 150, and I'm gonna do this one right here. I'm gonna blend it into my neck. That is the Fenty foundation right there. Keep it on, teensy bit more on so I don't lose it anywhere. And then I do the Naked foundation, and this one is in 20 and in. This one is a little bit more true to color for me at the moment. Well, this one's a little bit bigger of a swatch. But we have Fenty and the Naked foundation, and then Kosas. I'm gonna try and show you guys this foundation. It's pretty liquidy. Yeah, you can see how liquidy it is. I'm just gonna swatch this one right here. Oh, I might end up wearing this one today because my skin is a bit dry from the retinol. But you can see this one is just beautiful. Like, look at that, like, natural glow that it gives to the skin, and it just perfects everything without it looking heavy or feeling heavy. It almost feels like you're putting a serum on your face. And the best thing about it is that a lot of foundations that are the like no makeup kind of foundations that are hydrating don't really last all that long on my skin. This one, however, looks great for a long time on my face. And we have the Beauty Blender foundation. This is the one that's a bit dark for me. And this one is the one that is the most matte. And lastly, Nars Natural Wear. I'm just gonna take the teentiest little bit. And then I'm gonna zoom you guys in to see, turn my camera down a little bit so you can see all the shades swatched on my skin. I might have gotten a little bit of a tan because I'm thinking the ones that were, I've been walking my dogs a lot lately, but I might have gotten a little bit more color because the two that I thought were a bit dark are starting to match me a little bit versus the Nars and Urban Decay were the ones I thought were matching me pretty well. But yeah, you can see these foundations are so bomb. And then I do have some other favorite foundations that are up in the air. I do have to try them out more, but as far as my current ride or die foundations, these are all of them. If you guys have any questions about any of these foundations, let me know down in the comments. Also, let me know which foundations are your favorite and your skin type. But that is it for this video. I did a top 5, bottom 5 of my eyeshadow palette, so if you want to check that video out, I'll have it right over here for you guys. This video will be suggested to you by YouTube, and my face will be right here. Click on it and subscribe to my channel.